This is our story, the story of our very beginning.
It's the ultimate question, isn't it? Before the sun lit up our sky, before any of the planets were even formed, what was actually here? To understand who we are now, we have to go back, way back, to a time before, well, before everything.
So that's where our journey has to start. We're going back 4.6 times billion years. It's a number that's almost impossible to wrap your head around. Back then, our little corner of the galaxy, it was just quiet, and it was dark.
Think about it. There was no sun to give us light, no earth, nothing to stand on. All there was this huge, cold cloud of gas and dust just drifting. A kind of cosmic nursery, just waiting for a spark to bring it to life.
And then, that spark came. See, the universe is anything but a quiet place. Somewhere nearby, a massive star died in a spectacular explosion, a supernova. And the shockwave from that explosion tore through space, carrying with it all these heavy elements. That shockwave, that was the trigger. It slammed into our cloud, and suddenly everything changed. This enormous cloud, now full of the raw materials for planets, started to collapse in on itself, pulling inward and beginning to spin faster and faster.
So as this cloud collapsed and spun, it started to flatten out, kind of like a pizza dough. And this huge spinning disk of material, that's what we call the solar nebula. It was basically a giant cosmic platter, and gravity was pulling almost everything right into the very center.
And right there, in the middle of that spinning disk, something incredible was happening. A powerful new center of gravity was forming. It was so strong that it pulled in more than 99%. Think about that. More than 99% of all the stuff in the entire cloud. It all got packed into a core that was just unbelievably dense and hot. And deep inside that core, the pressure and the heat just kept building and building until something truly miraculous happened. The pressure got so intense that hydrogen atoms actually started fusing together, creating helium and releasing a tremendous amount of energy. A star was born, our sun, ignited, and for the very first time, there was light in our corner of the universe. But, just because the sun was born, that didn't mean things settled down. Not at all. That leftover disk of material, it was a crazy, chaotic place, a truly violent cosmic demolition derby, where things were constantly being created and destroyed in these massive collisions.
But out of all that chaos, something like a construction project started. At first, it was just tiny grains of dust sticking together. Then those clumps would smash into other clumps, getting bigger and bigger. You had all these countless violent smash-ups, and basically the biggest ones survived. They just kept growing until their own gravity was strong enough to pull them into the round, spherical shapes we see as planets today.
Now, the new sun's heat created this really important dividing line. Scientists call it the frost line. Basically, anything close to the sun got absolutely baked. Only the heavy, rocky, metallic stuff could handle that heat. But way farther out, where it was freezing cold, lighter things like gas and ice could survive and clump together. And that right there, that's the key reason why our solar system has two totally different types of planets.
And so these two families of planets began to take shape. The crazy violence finally started to die down. The dust began to settle. And out of that chaotic, divided cloud, an ordered system emerged. 8 unique worlds, each one finding its own path around our brand new sun. Closest in, right in the sun's searing glare, you've got Mercury, a tiny, dense little world that's just constantly getting scorched by its star.
Next out is Venus. It's often called Earth's twin because it's about the same size, but wow, it's a terrifying version. It's a runaway greenhouse world, literally hot enough to melt lead on the surface.
And then, there's the third planet, a shimmering blue marble in the dark, a world covered in liquid oceans. It's home. Just beyond us is Mars, the red planet. It's a dusty, cold, desert world, but it's also a place of extremes, home to the tallest volcanoes and the deepest canyons in the entire solar system. Okay, now we cross that frost line we talked about into the realm of the giants. And here, Jupiter is king. It's the biggest and oldest of all the planets, just a massive swirling ball of gas. Its great red spot, that's a storm, and it's bigger than our whole planet. And then you see it, the jewel of the solar system, Saturn. Another gas giant, but this one is famous for its absolutely spectacular and complex rings made of ice.
Way out in the cold, we find Uranus. It's an ice giant, and it's weird. It's spinning on its side, probably because of some massive collision way back in its past. And that bizarre tilt gives it the most extreme seasons you can possibly imagine.
And finally, we reach the edge, the dark frontier. This is Neptune's territory, a dark, cold, deep blue world that's constantly being battered by supersonic winds, the fastest winds in the whole solar system. So there you have it, 8 worlds circling one star. Each one is its own little universe of wonders, and they all came from the same cosmic event. And yet, one of them is profoundly, fundamentally different from all the rest.
I mean, think about this. Of all the places we've looked, across the thousands of other solar systems we've found, this one fact remains. It's a stark, almost unbelievable truth.
So after 4.6 billion years of just cosmic chance, of all those violent smash-ups, and the delicate balances that followed, we're left with the biggest question of all. In all this vastness, all this chaos, why? Why is this planet, our planet, the only home we've ever found?